Hey everyone! Welcome to another Stonehearth Desktop Tuesday. First of all, many thanks to the 650 of you who filled out our Desktop Tuesday survey. This week, I'd like to share what we learned so that we can all be on the same page about how Desktop Tuesdays will change and evolve in the future according to your feedback. First of all, we learned that overwhelmingly, 95% of you watch Desktop Tuesdays to find out what's coming next at Stonehearth. After that, about half of you watch to hear about our encounters with hard technical problems. Just under half of you, about 45%, watch to find out what it's like to make a video game, and to make sure that we as a dev team are still alive. Second, we learned that on a scale of 1 through 5, where 1 is low enjoyment and 5 is high enjoyment, that each kind of Desktop Tuesday we've made recently is enjoyed at the 4 to 5 level by at least 60% of you. The most universally enjoyed Desktop Tuesdays have been about specific features, like mood, loadouts, traits, and customization. These guys were enjoyed by about 80% of you, followed by the ones about roadmap and general direction, which were enjoyed by about 75% of you. The most controversially enjoyed style of Desktop Tuesday was the deep dive into a feature, in this case conversations, but even so, 65% of you still enjoyed them at a high level. The most surprising thing we learned is that though almost 60% of you want us to keep making Desktop Tuesdays every week, even if this means making Desktop Tuesdays about topics other than stuff that's actively about to go into the game, over 40% of you have encouraged us to spend the Desktop Tuesday time on other things, and only make them when we have stuff to show. Finally, we learned that if we did make Desktop Tuesdays about things that aren't immediately going to be in the game, almost 70% of you were interested in hearing about early stage features that are still in design and may not make it into development, and that almost as many of you, 63%, would like to hear answers to questions that you submit. Given these results, it seems to us that Desktop Tuesday should primarily continue to focus on features we're actively working on, and that will be in the game soon. If we do not have a particularly interesting feature to discuss, we should do a simpler, lower time cost Desktop Tuesday that gives a brief update about what we're working on, or that answers some community questions, so that you can see what it's like to work on a game and know that we're still alive. More occasionally, we might make a Desktop Tuesday that discusses long-term future features. Thoughts, comments, questions? Let us know in the comments or on our forum at discourse.stonehearth.net. To that end, a brief update. The team is currently working on wrapping up a number of long-term projects that have been going on in the background for a while, but that we're not yet ready to discuss in detail. For example, when I asked Engineer Albert if he was ready to talk about his retrofit of the water system this week, I heard incoherent growling, probably because QA analyst Anna is kicking ass at using your existing water bugs on Discourse to test edge cases in the new system. So good job on filing those bug reports. I asked Engineer Chris the same question about his and Nikki's work on the building UX, and got a terse answer about how he's on prototype version 6, and was maybe about to hit pay dirt, and didn't have time to talk. In terms of answering questions, we hear you ask a lot about whether the building system you saw last week will have actual gameplay involved in it. For example, if buildings will provide protection from the environment, or aid in protection from attacks. That is indeed currently our plan, although the exact gameplay details are still under construction. The first step of this was actually implemented by Albert back in January, when he allowed Hearthlings to become aware of whether or not they were sleeping inside or outside. And that's it for this week. More on this and many other topics in the weeks to come. In the meantime, you can find us on discourse.stonehearth.net or on our weekly team streams on Thursday at 6 p.m. PST on www.twitch.tv/Stonehearth. This week it's Chris. Be sure to ping him about all the new things he's discovered about 3D building. See you next week!